Okay, so honestly, have you noticed how it's almost impossible to stay on top of everything nowadays? There's just so much information coming at us constantly.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I feel that. Articles, studies, reports, you name it.
Exactly. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that OpenAI's ChatGPT has some new tools that can actually help us not just keep up, but get ahead of the curve?
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what we're going to deep dive into today.
Sounds pretty exciting. I mean, I use ChatGPT all the time, but I'm always up for learning about new ways to get even more out of it.
Okay, so these new tools, they're like superpowers for research.
Yeah.
Imagine something that can just analyze tons of information and pull out the key insights for you, all organized and ready to go. Think about how much time that could save.
Seriously, that would be a game changer, especially for people like me who are always doing research. I mean, I can't even tell you how many hours I spend just reading through articles and studies.
Right. And that's what we're talking about here. These tools can potentially change the way we do research entirely. And the two big ones are deep research and Search GPT.
Okay, I've heard those names thrown around, but to be honest, I haven't really looked into them much yet.
Well, let's start with deep research. What is it about this deep research that makes it so different, so deep?
Yeah, break it down for me.
So basically, imagine you're working on a project and you need to gather a ton of info, right? Deep research basically acts like your personal research assistant. You tell it what you want to know about, and it goes out and does all the work for you. It combs through articles, reports, even complex scientific papers, all the stuff that would normally take you forever to get through.
Okay, so instead of spending hours sifting through search results and trying to figure out which sources are actually reliable, it does that for you.
Yes. And then it takes all that information and puts it together in a nice, organized report.
Wow, so it's not just finding stuff like a regular search engine, it's actually understanding it and synthesizing it.
Exactly. That's because it uses something called the O3 model, which is specially designed for understanding and analyzing web content. Think of it like a super intelligent research assistant with a PhD in data analysis.
That's impressive, but there's so much misinformation out there these days. How do we know the stuff that deep research is pulling is accurate?
That's a really good point. And that's one of the things that's so cool about deep research. It's designed to actually weed out false or misleading information. It has a built-in fact checker.
Oh, wow. So it's not just taking everything at face value, it's actually evaluating the sources.
Right. And the best part is it's not just giving you a bunch of raw data. It can tailor the information to your specific needs. Let's say you just want a quick summary of the main points.
Yeah, or sometimes I need like a super detailed report with all this supporting evidence and stuff.
Exactly. It could do both.
Yeah.
It even lets you choose how you want the information organized, like bullet points, an essay format, whatever works best for you.
Okay, that's amazing. And that's only available to pro users, right?
For now, yeah. But I hear they're planning to roll it out globally pretty soon.
Cool, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Now, what about Search GPT? Have you had a chance to play around with that yet? That one is available to everyone, no subscription needed.
I've seen it, yeah. I mean, it looks like a regular search engine.
Right. It looks like a regular search engine, but it's so much more than that.
Mm.
Think of it like, a search engine on steroids. It takes everything that's great about traditional search engines and then adds this whole extra layer of reliability and trust.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So how does it do that?
Well, with Search GPT, when you get your search results, it also shows you links to verified sources right there next to them.
Oh, that's really helpful. Because, a lot of times when you're searching for something, you get so many results, it's hard to know what's trustworthy.
Exactly. It's like having a built-in research librarian who's double-checking everything for you.
And especially for things like news or new research, I imagine that's really helpful to make sure you're not getting outdated info.
Totally. It's incredible for staying up to date because it's pulling from real-time data. So you're not getting stuck with information that's 5 years old.
And I also heard it does something called cross-referencing, right?
Yeah, that's one of my favorite features. Basically, it checks the information across multiple sources to make sure it's consistent. So if you read something in one article, it'll automatically look for other articles that either confirm or challenge that information.
So, if one article is saying one thing and another article is saying something totally different, it'll flag that.
Exactly, which is so important, especially with all the, biased or incomplete information that's out there.
That's a brilliant way to fight misinformation. I hadn't thought about that.
So these tools, they're obviously great for saving time and effort. But I'm thinking about the bigger picture here. How will all of this change the way we approach research in general?
You know, I think it has the potential to be truly revolutionary. I mean, think about it. If you can gather all the information you need in a fraction of the time, that frees you up to actually do something with it.
So instead of getting bogged down in the research process, you can actually focus on the analysis, the critical thinking, the creative problem solving.
Exactly. And it's not just about students or academics. Think about how this could benefit businesses, policymakers, anyone who needs to make decisions based on solid information.
It's like, they say knowledge is power. Well, these tools are like giving us access to a whole new level of power. And not just in terms of the quantity of information we have, but also the quality and the way we use it.
It's almost like a leveling of the playing field in a way, because now anyone, regardless of their resources or their background, can potentially access the same level of information and insight.
That's a really great point. It's democratizing knowledge in a way that we haven't really seen before.
And I'm really curious to see how this plays out in the long term. Like, what kind of innovations will come from this? What new discoveries will be made?
It really is a pretty exciting time to be, well, to be curious about the world, right?
Yeah.
Because with these tools, we have the potential to learn and understand things in ways that we never could before.
Absolutely. And I think the best way to really appreciate the power of these tools is to just try them out for yourself, play around with them, see what you can discover. I think you'll be surprised at what you find.
I'm definitely going to be spending some time exploring them. And for anyone listening, I highly recommend you do the same. You might just unlock a whole new world of knowledge.